Gangs of Sherwood had some trouble getting to launch day. After some not so nice feedback, the game headed back into development, delaying its initial release date. Many had hoped that these changes would improve the game on a fundamental level, rectifying any issues they once had. Unfortunately, while Gangs of Sherwood has some enjoyable tricks up its sleeve, it clearly needs a little more time in the oven. Gangs of Sherwood is a third-person action-adventure game that can be enjoyed either solo or with a group of friends. It puts you in the role of Robin Hood, Little John, Friar Tuck or Maid Marian as you desperately attempt to take down the nefarious Sheriff of Nottingham. What makes this adaptation of the legendary tale stand out is its steampunk aesthetic, which gives the tired medieval setting a fun facelift. Unfortunately, it's not enough to keep the core campaign from being a washout. While there are some good ideas on display here, its relatively short runtime, averaging around 6 to 8 hours, and uninspired narrative make the experience largely forgettable. Had there been more variation in the level design, or perhaps an additional act or two to help flesh out the characters and world a little better, Gangs of Sherwood could have offered a worthwhile campaign. Fortunately, everything is better with friends, and the same can be said of Gangs of Sherwood. This is largely due to the balanced characters whose abilities, when used in conjunction with one another, make the experience more engaging. Unfortunately, this also means that the solo experience feels lacking, as without friends to keep the game feeling fresh, you'll quickly grow bored of the same repetitive gameplay. Enemy design in Gangs of Sherwood is a significant letdown, owing largely to their copy and paste nature. You'll encounter the same bad guys over and over again, which naturally gets incredibly tiresome. The same can be said about the bosses, which are more powerful reskins of the basic enemy types. It doesn't help that the game barely encourages experimentation with combos or anything beyond the basic attacks. They're simply far too overpowered, requiring you to go out of your way to utilize the game's combo system or abilities if you want combat to feel fresh. While there is a rating system for each encounter, which in theory motivates you to try out different combat mechanics to reach a higher score, unless you are motivated by a letter grade, you'll stick to the basic attacks more than you'd probably like. This all culminates in an experience that feels rushed, with little diversity to keep the predominantly repetitive mission structure consistently engaging. Fortunately, the scenery surrounding this repetitive combat is genuinely awe-inspiring. The various locales you'll visit are all phenomenally designed, with meticulous details immersing you in this dystopian steampunk world. Additionally, the audio design is fantastic, with every twang of Robin Hood's bow feeling incredibly impactful. Nevertheless, it's hard to recommend Gangs of Sherwood. The short campaign is as repetitive as it is dull, with only the banter of its core cast to keep it afloat. The repetitive combat and lack of nuance makes the entire experience mind-numbing, a problem only slightly alleviated by playing with friends. For the price point of $40, you're getting what feels like a slightly underbaked video game. Perhaps with a little more time in the oven and some much needed content updates, Gangs of Sherwood will become an enjoyable co-op adventure game. But until then, it is simply not worth your time, even for the most die-hard of Robin Hood fans. The game creator is giving Gangs of Sherwood a 5 out of 10. Make sure to like and subscribe for more reviews just like this one.